A whisper from the deep. Hello, Nessie. Have you heard of a famous monster? This monster lives in a lake. The lake is in Scotland. It is called Loch Ness. People call the monster Nessie. Nessie is a big mystery. Is Nessie real? Nobody knows for sure, but many people think so. They have stories to tell. These stories are very exciting. They make us wonder, what is hiding in the deep, dark water?
Things you only talk about at the back of the cave.
Loch Ness is a very large lake. It is long and very, very deep. Imagine a lake so deep that tall buildings could hide in it. The water is also very murky. This means it is not clear. It is hard to see through the dark water. This makes it a perfect place for a secret. A secret like a giant, unknown creature. Many people visit this special lake. They look out over the water. They hope for a little peek. For many years, people have talked about Nessie. They say a strange animal lives there. Some say it looks like an old dinosaur. Are you ready to explore the mystery of Nessie? Let's dive into the dark waters of Loch Ness. Old tales, the first stories of a water creature. The story of Nessie is not new. It is quite old, in fact. Very old. The first story comes from a long time ago. It was from about 1500 years ago. A holy man named Saint Columba was near Loch Ness. The story says he saw a big beast. The beast was in the river Ness, which flows from the loch. It tried to attack a man. Saint Columba was brave. He told the beast to go away, and guess what? The beast listened. It swam away and did not hurt anyone. This is a very old tale. Some people think this was the first time someone saw Nessie. Or maybe it was a different water creature. We don't know for sure. But it shows that people saw strange things in the water. They saw them a long, long time ago. This makes the mystery even older than what we think of today. People in Scotland often told tales. They told stories about water spirits. These spirits were called kelpies. Kelpies were said to live in lakes and rivers. Sometimes they looked like horses. These old tales set the stage for modern-day accounts. Nessie becomes famous. A monster in the news. For many hundreds of years, Nessie was mostly a local story. People who lived near Loch Ness knew the tales, but the rest of the world did not know of her. Then something changed. This was in the year 1933. A new road was built. This road went all around the perimeter of Loch Ness. More people could now easily see the loch, and more people started to report strange things. One day in April 1933, a couple saw something amazing. Their names were Aldi McKay and her husband. They were driving by the loch. Mrs. McKay looked out at the water. She saw a huge creature. She said it was rolling and plunging in the loch. It was like a whale. This story was printed in a local newspaper. Soon, even more people heard about it. The news started to spread. A few months later, in July 1933, another sighting happened. George Spicer and his wife were also driving. They saw something cross the road in front of their car. It was not on the water but on land. It had a big body and a long, wavy neck. The modern legend of Nessie had truly begun. That famous photo? Real or not real? 1 year after Nessie became big news, something else happened. It was 1934. A doctor from London took a photograph. His name was Colonel Robert Wilson. This photo became incredibly famous. It is called the surgeon's photograph. What did it show? It showed something in the water. It looked like a long neck and a small head. It looked just like people imagined Nessie to be. This photo made Nessie even more famous. It was printed in newspapers all around the world. Many people saw it. They thought, wow, there really is a monster in the loch. The photo seemed like proof. It made believers feel sure. It made curious people even more interested. For many years this photo was the best evidence. It was the picture everyone thought of when they heard Loch Ness Monster. It was a powerful image. But then, many years later, a secret came out. It was in the 1990s. People learned the truth about the surgeon's photograph. It was not real. It was a fake. It was a hoax. Men had made a little model monster. They put it on a toy submarine. But the mystery of Nessie didn't die with the photo. More people see Nessie. Exciting stories from the loch. Even though the surgeon's photograph was a fake, people kept seeing things. Many other sightings happened over the years. These stories kept the legend of Nessie alive. People described seeing long necks. They saw humps moving through the water. Sometimes they saw big splashes, or strange shapes under the surface. Each story added a little more to the mystery. It made people wonder even more. One famous sighting was a film. In 1960, a man named Tim Dinsdale took a video. He was an aeronautical engineer. He was very serious about finding Nessie. His film showed a dark shape moving in the water. It left a wake behind it like a boat. Some experts looked at the film. They said it seemed to be an unknown living thing. This film made many people believe again. It was not just a still photo, it was a moving picture. Other people had close encounters too. Some reported seeing Nessie on land like the Spicers. Others saw it from boats on the loch. They would describe its skin. Some said it was smooth and dark, others said it was rough. The size estimates also varied. Some said it was big like a bus. These different descriptions made it hard to know what Nessie really looked like. Looking for Nessie, scientists get curious. With so many stories and sightings, scientists started to get interested. They wanted to study Loch Ness. They wanted to find out if a large, unknown animal could live there. It was not just about fun stories anymore. It was about scientific discovery. Could there be a real creature behind the legend? This was a big question. And scientists absolutely love big questions. They like to find the answers to those questions. In the 1960s, a group was formed. It was called the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau. Sir Peter Scott, a famous naturalist, was part of it. This group organized expeditions. They set up cameras around the loch. They had people watching the water for many hours. They wanted to get clear photos or videos. They hoped to capture undeniable proof of Nessie. This was a serious effort. They used scientific methods. These early scientific searches were exciting. Imagine being there, waiting and watching, hoping to be the one to see Nessie. The Loch Ness Investigation Bureau collected many reports. They interviewed eyewitnesses, they studied photos and films. They tried to be very careful and logical. The mystery of Nessie was too tempting. Big searches, using boats and cameras. As technology got better, so did the searches for Nessie. Scientists started using more advanced tools. They used boats with sonar equipment. Sonar can send sound waves down into the water. If the sound waves hit something solid, they bounce back. This can show if there is a large object underwater, even if you cannot see it with your eyes. This seemed like a good way to find Nessie. One very big sonar search happened in 1987. It was called Operation Deep Scan. A fleet of boats lined up across the loch. They all had sonar. They moved slowly from one end of the loch to the other. They scanned the entire body of water. They did get some interesting sonar contacts. These were large, moving objects deep underwater, but they could not see what they were. Were they Nessie? Or just big fish? Or even sunken logs? Besides sonar, people also tried using underwater cameras. Dr. Robert Rines, an American scientist, led many expeditions. He used special cameras and lights. He hoped to get a clear picture of Nessie in its underwater home. The mystery continued. So what is Nessie? Ideas and guesses. If there is a real creature in Loch Ness, what could it be? People have many ideas. One popular idea is that Nessie is a plesiosaur. Plesiosaurs were ancient sea reptiles. They lived at the time of the dinosaurs. They had long necks and flippers. They looked a bit like the descriptions of Nessie. Could a few plesiosaurs have survived and found their way into Loch Ness? It is a fun idea, but most scientists say this is not very likely. Plesiosaurs were air breathers. They would need to come to the surface often. People would see them much more. Also, Loch Ness was formed by glaciers. It is only about 10,000 years old. Plesiosaurs died out millions of years before that, so it is hard to explain how they could get there, but it is still a favorite theory for many Nessie fans. It makes Nessie very special. What are other ideas? Some people think Nessie could be a very large fish, maybe a giant eel. Some eels can grow very big, or perhaps a large sturgeon. These are known animals. The enduring enigma, why we still believe in Nessie. So after all these years, is Nessie real? We still don't have a clear answer. There's no definite proof. No one has ever caught Nessie. No clear, undeniable photograph exists. Scientists have searched and searched. They have, however, found some interesting clues, but nothing that says, yes, Nessie is here. So, the mystery remains. And that's part of what makes Nessie so special. Nessie has become more than just a possible animal. She's a star. She is famous all over the world. Loch Ness is a big tourist attraction. People come from everywhere. They hope to catch a glimpse of the monster. They buy Nessie souvenirs. They listen to the stories. Nessie is important for the local area and its economy. She brings excitement and visitors. She is a part of Scottish culture now, a friendly, mysterious monster. Why do we love Nessie so much? Maybe it's because we love mysteries. We like the idea that there are still unknown things in our world, things that science has not explained yet. It sparks our imagination,